All right. In fact, another development, senior Congress leader Veerappa Moily has now asserted that the G-23 leaders, some of them have misused their positions and have misused the G-23, and asserted that if anyone persists with its institutionalization, it would be for vested interests, as reform of the party is already underway under Sonia Gandhi. The former union minister also voiced strong support for poll strategist Prashant Kishor's induction into the Congress and said those opposing his entry into the party were actually anti-reform. Moily, who was among the 23 leaders who wrote to Gandhi last year seeking organizational overhaul, opposed the institutionalization of the G23 and said that some of us put our signatures only for reform of the party from within and to rebuild the party, not to destroy it. Okay, my colleague Samia Kapoor is tracking this story for us. Samia, again, an interesting development where you have a statement from none other than senior leader Veerappa Moily, and in a way targeting the G23 leaders, also batting for the induction of Prashant Kishor. Now, all these are highly contentious issues within the Congress party. What has prompted this statement from Veerappa Moily?
Well, one thing is very clear that the former strategist Prashant Kishor's entry into the grand old party has once again exposed the kind of fissures that lies within the Congress. It once again is a divided house. There are camps at play where there is one section that wants Prashant Kishor to be brought on board, that he's going to add a lot more value and provide a lot more strategic vision as election campaign managements are concerned, while the others, they feel that if Prashant Kishor will be brought on board and if his team takes charge and takes over ahead of the elections, then what is the rest of the organization supposed to do? That has become the primary area of contention over here. Of course, Prashant Kishor is somebody who has worked with several opposition parties in the past, with the BJP, with the JDU, with the TMC and with the Congress party. But having said that, there is a lot of trust deficit. That has also led to the fact that Prashant Kishor has not stuck to one particular party, but of course he works in the capacity of being a election strategist. Another area of concern is that the designation at which Prashant Kishor should enter the Congress party. Should he be made the General Secretary in charge, or would he want to be the Vice President? He also wants to be inducted into the highest decision-making body of the Congress party, which is the CWC, the Congress Working Committee. Now, these are the designations that are often earned by those who have dedicated themselves from grassroots onwards in the Congress party and has worked for years on. That is another area of concern that several of the senior leaders have pointed out. But of course, it's not just about the G23 alone, because the committee that was constituted to ask for opinion and seek feedback from senior leaders, which comprises of Ambika Soni, A.K. Antony, and K.C. Venugopal, did reach out to all the senior Congress leaders, including the G23 leaders. Now, so long the G23 leaders are going to be holding important positions in the Congress party, they cannot be termed irrelevant like Mr. Veerappa Moily termed them to be. They are part of the CWC and their opinion does matter. They are elected representatives and therefore they cannot be ruled out entirely. That's the reason why the final decision will lie with the High Command after they take into account the opinions and feedback that come from all the leaders alike. There is a section that feels that Prashant Kishor will be able to boost Congress's chances in the upcoming assembly elections. With his team management, we've seen him fare well, exceedingly well rather, in the recent West Bengal elections where he was the strategist for Mamata Banerjee. And that is something the Congress party is relying on heavily, that if Prashant Kishor is brought on board, the Congress party will be paying dividends of getting him on board. But having said that, there is a large section of ambiguity that surrounds whether Prashant Kishor is somebody who's going to be true to one particular political ideology, whether he's going to stick around with one particular party or will he going to shift. He's often termed out to be like a political opportunist of sorts because he shifted from JDU to BJP to the Congress. So there is a sense of ambiguity that surrounds whether he's
This also indicates, Samia, that G23 is no longer one cohesive unit. Veerappa Moily was part of G23 and now he says that reform is underway with or without G23 and also throwing his weight behind induction of Prashant Kishor, something that most of the leaders of the G23 had actually objected to. Thanks for joining us with your inputs.